Violence, Oppressing the Masses. So I'm thinking through this song. What do I want to talk about it that's specific to the song, opposed to some of the other thoughts I've had that are kind of more specific to the album and the songwriting? I would say something that's specific to this song is I had a hard time remembering the changes. Usually when you get at least, halfway through a song, you kind of know, okay, this one's going to repeat 4 times. It's going to come back over here. You're going to see it again over here. There'll be a subtle change here. This song was much harder for me on that respect. This song was almost like learning a solo. It's like nothing's going to repeat, and you just got to learn note from the beginning to the end. And so interestingly on this one is it was right about the end when I can see the patterns. And so that made the song, it had a challenge to it. It made it more demanding. So hopefully, you can see the patterns quicker than I did, and that extra layer of difficulty won't be there for you. The song's tuned to A440, and now I'm kind of jump to more of like their general writing in this album and what stood out to me. And what stood out to me is it didn't center, their riffs don't center around the open E. They don't chug, and they also don't really do much with the open E power chord, that 0 on the E and the second on the A. They just, that's just not where they're really focused on. It's like their pivot point for their riffs and their song structures tend to be the power chord on the E string on the 1st and 3rd fret. And, it kind of reminds me of Exodus to a little bit of a degree. And obviously these guys are like neighbors with each other. But Exodus, they'd always tune a little sharp, and it was my understanding that they would do that for the singer. And so maybe it was the era, the era and just basically where they would be at in the final production of writing their songs is, they didn't need to cover a lot of the lower bass spectrums of the sound waves, or like when I would do my EQs, I would always kind of swoop them and have that heavy bass, and then I would design my tones for the chug. Since they're not chugging, they're not designing their tones for that. But obviously we know that they're one of the best thrash metal bands that was out there, and interestingly, they didn't have to worry about the chug to do that. On a side note, it wasn't this song, but it was it Officer Nice? Yeah, I think it was Officer Nice. I noticed that their live playing, they're tuned, roughly about a step flat from where they recorded it at. So I guess, times have changed. And 1990, we were looking at stuff a little more higher in the registers than we are now. And so these tab pages, I don't know exactly how many there are. I didn't count them. I think there's roughly 11 screenshots. So I'll put those equidistant throughout this narrative, and hope you guys enjoy it.